Welcome to SoulWhat, a Soultopia production. Every Tuesday, Michelle and Roger Welch take a deep dive into the intriguing and proactive world of metaphysics, a world beyond our human perception. They'll talk to empaths, readers, and other guests from all walks of life to find out what's hiding under the surface, uncover the mysteries of our modern world, and reveal the answers you need to live a happy, healthier life. Now, here's your hosts, Michelle and Roger Welch.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I'm looking at you, Roger.
Last week or week before last, I'm better.
How far are you going to go back? Week before last, this week?
Still not 100%. Still hurting like a mother.
Yeah, so Roger has a pinched nerve, everyone. So I do not know the difference between an impinged nerve and a pinched nerve, but...
all I know is it hurts like a son of a... Yeah.
So when we were in Denver, which is now my place of, I think, where purgatory is, no offense to people from Denver, but that's where I would go if I had to go to be punished, because I am not in
primarily
line
the
with
Denver
that frequency.
Airport.
The Denver airport? No, just the whole...
Yeah, you got a letter from the Denver airport today, by the way.
Oh, I did. Oh,
Yeah.
what have I done now?
You walked through with a switchblade knife.
I did. Okay, so just tell it really fast, and then we'll bring on our guest.
So I usually get stopped going through the airport because I forgot and left a knife in my pocket or my bag or something. This time it wasn't me. This time it was Michelle. Not only did she have a knife in her purse, she had a switchblade knife, a spring-assisted knife, let's say, which is a huge no-no on federal property, which that's what TSA is federal property.
Oopsies.
So, yeah, you got a letter from
What
them
does it
today.
say?
I don't know. I didn't open it. I just remembered. The only reason I remember is because I get the email in the mornings that says, here's the mail for the day. So you know if somebody stole your mail.
You think I'm on a list now?
You're probably on a list, a no-fly list. What are you going to do about that?
I can't keep up with all the lists I'm on.
What are you going to do if you're on a no-fly list?
I guess walk. All right.
Lexi, what are you going to do? She's on a no-fly list. Oh.
What?
Lexi, she's watching.
Oh, Lexi? Yeah. So what do y'all think? Am I on a no-fly list? Is that what's going to happen?
Probably not.
No?
Not for one time for that.
Okay, so
But
one
they
of the
are
people
weird.
that was supposed to be with us and couldn't join us in Denver, or join the group of people that were in Denver, was our good friend Jen Sankey, the Stardust Wanderer, and she's joining us on very short notice tonight. I was like, we got to have Jen on to talk about this subject. And so, Jen, welcome to the show. I'm going to say a little bit more about you, but Jen, like I said, Stardust Wanderer Tarot, she was supposed to be in Denver because she won the Gold Award for the Best TV Series, and I'll let her tell y'all a little bit more about that. And that's a big deal. So she won that category, and she just successfully funded a Kickstarter for her new deck, and it's the Stardust Wanderer Tarot, right? Is that the full? Okay.
Yep.
And she has, I know, a book contract, all kinds of things. I mean, like, the big name right now going around is Jen Sankey, right? So, Jen, how are you doing? And welcome to SoulWhat.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. It's a busy week here. Our youngest is graduating high school, so we're in like graduation mode, and we have a whole bunch of family coming this weekend. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting. So yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how much you want to share, but you were supposed to come, and I know you had a son that had surgery, and you weren't as healthy, went through a little thing. So I don't know if I'm sharing too much, but I'll let otherwise
fine.
You would have been there because we wanted you and Jay to come, and I'm sure I would have felt a lot better because I probably would have done a lot more if they were there.
Or I would have just been with you because I don't know. The last time I was there, that altitude got me. And it was just like all of a sudden, I was just like, what's happening to me right now? And I didn't even put it together until like after the fact. So that's no joke. Like that, you need a minute, like, or just oxygen with you constantly. I don't know what it is, but Jay was fine. It was me. I was like a mess.
No,
Same
it's
thing
serious.
here.
I know.
Same exact thing.
Same exact.
I actually went and
thing.
bought her a can of oxygen. She says, that's not going to do anything. I'm like, you know what? Just breathe it. And a few hours later, she said, actually, I think this is helping.
Like maybe 2% out of a 98%, I was on my way to being hallucinating, helping. But yes, and not hallucinating because I was in Colorado in a good way. So,
Right.
so we had you on for Jen. You actually practice many of the things that we talk about and we do in our store. You are actually a very real, hands-on, everyday practitioner and that's why I think of you and ask you on a lot of stuff, because a lot of people talk about it, and this is not a judgment at all. I mean, I'm lazy. I do stuff with my mind. Roger is like you. He'll do all the creative and get his hands in it. And so what we're talking about is the summer solstice, and we're going to say some facts about it and some things that we can work with. And I feel like I'm in a tunnel talking, just so everybody knows. Just needed to announce
fun.
that. Just needed to.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it's left over from Denver.
Yeah.
It's probably because I'm offending everybody in Denver right now.
The Denver people are on here right now
Right.
listening.
Denver people are
They're
like,
sending you altitude right now.
they're like, you know what? We don't care if you come back. We don't miss you at all.
Besides, I thought you lived on a freaking mountain.
I do actually. I do live on a mountain, but it's not that hot. It's not. I mean, it's like 13,000. Not 1,300, not 1,000. 1,300 feet up. So it's up, but it's not as high as that. I mean, when I'm driving up the mountain, like my ears will pop.
Yep.
So that does happen,
Well,
but it's not as high as that.
And that's
And
what
it's not.
And that's what I told Michelle, because like we went for my birthday year before last to the Smoky Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains. And I was like,
Yeah.
and she was worried because of the altitude. I'm like, no, it's not the same, because you're only talking about maybe 3,500 to 4,000 feet, maybe 4,500 feet at the highest points. But you get all the beauty because it's low enough you get trees. And, you get in the mountains in Colorado, there's no trees.
Well,
No, there's nothing.
There was snow. Did you see my snow pictures?
I did see the snow. And I had to just glance real quick because I know I told you two about our trip of Pikes Peak, and I'm traumatized forever. And so I just look a little bit, and that's it, because then I think about that, and I don't want to think about that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me and my Aspen trip. I was just like,
And I was wearing
will never
shorts.
care flight me the you-know-what out of here.
And I was wearing shorts and a T-shirt. And luckily, I had a long sleeve shirt in the car with me. I had nothing else in the car, though. Nothing. That was all I had.
Oh, my God.
So I was like,
oh my, well, thank God you didn't get stuck or anything.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, the car was a four-wheel. It was four-wheel drive, so
Yeah.
not a big deal.
So quick update, and we'll talk about it just for like 2 seconds. Matt, you are officially off the hook for Roger's birthday because
Oh, am
I
I?
am on it. Yes.
Okay.
And
What
Jen
are you
Sankey
doing?
and Jay Sankey, it's a surprise, but you will know soon.
Okay.
And you probably will have a big role to help me figure
Do I have
it
to
out.
dress up in the
But,
Sasquatch outfit?
yeah, that's probably going to be you.
And get shot
And, the Sankeys will be invited. But, yeah, but what we're here to talk about today, we actually do have a topic, and we're talking about the summer solstice, and we have some facts and interesting things, but we also wanted to have Jen on to chime in with us and tell us a little bit what she does on the summer solstice. And it's actually tomorrow, the summer solstice.
We're just getting you prepared today for tomorrow.
Yeah, we are. So you can get all your stuff. But it was interesting because, it's been called so many different things. And I always like to go back to, like, the history and the history of the fact that being raised in nothing, I'm not making any statements about somebody raised in a traditional Christian Protestant home, but looking back at the history of how that date, it was celebrated, or tomorrow, the summer solstice was celebrating, and eventually, of course, it was called a saint's name. Does anybody want to guess what tomorrow is and what saint is celebrated? Do y'all know? Anybody? Of course, I'm going to find that out because it's interesting. Because I always go, okay, what saint did they try to get them, the pagans
Lucifer.
to? What?
Right. Yeah. Because everyone has a
Saint
saint.
Lucifer.
Yeah, Saint Lucifer.
Okay, that's wrong.
Oh, I thought you just wanted me to guess.
Do we need a prize to this?
No.
If anybody can guess, whoever's fastest at Googling.
No.
I was gonna say, let me grab my phone because I do not know.
And
actually.
one of the herbs that is recommended to use on the summer solstice or midsummer's Midsummer's Eve, I would say, and the midsummer is this herb, St. John's wort. And it originally was called like what, Jen, you may know this, like devil's, I think it wasn't devil's claw, but devil's something. And then St. John's wort is for St. John the Baptist.
Got it.
Yes, indeed. Came along, and St. John the Baptist, there is that day. So no making fun of the saints or anything, but it's always interesting to me that it goes, and then all the different gods and goddesses from all the different countries and traditions that can be celebrated. It's not just one, and we'll get into that. But
It's actually
I was
one of
going
my
to
favorite.
What?
One of my favorite herbs. I use it in pretty much everything too, just a little bit.
What about you, Jen? Do you use St. John's wort?
I do. I use it a lot when I'm doing candle spells and stuff like that. I do use it a lot for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I thought, of course, I always think that's interesting. The St. John's wort and St. John the Baptist, because of the fact that we always talk about this, how the pagan traditions were around much longer than the traditions that then came in. And, people always try to change people and get them to follow their traditions. Well, no, they don't always, but the Protestants did. Okay, and the Catholics. So that's what happened with that.
Yeah.
And so, but what traditionally happened, I'm going to let you and Roger talk about this more, Jen, but traditionally, it was celebrated for bonfires were built, and every culture did different things. The indigenous, the Native Americans would do like the wheel, and the medicine wheel would go with that. But all different, the bonfires, it's a time of releasing. A lot of people still do bonfires. And of course, when you read it on how it turned into St. John's the Baptist Day, it was that the parties at night where you would wear your beautiful flowers, sea gens, and wreaths that you made during the day, you'd wear them at night and dance around the fire, and they turned into orgies and everything, apparently, according to the church. And so then they made up St. John the Baptist Day. Right? Isn't that interesting?
That is.
See, I'm always
That's cool.
interested. Roger's looking at pictures of Frenchies right now, just so you know. There you go.
That
Are
was
you going to?
back.
Oh, well, there we go. All right, Roger. Why
Yes.
don't you tell us a little about some of the symbols and things that go with the day, and how people, and you and Jen start talking about what what people can do to kind of celebrate if they don't know I'm going to say St. John the Baptist Day, Solstice or Litha, as it's known.
Okay. So one of the things that, as we were talking about through, is actually bonfires. Okay. So if you're not out in the top of a mountain like Jen, it might be a little tough for you to run outside and have a bonfire. Correct?
And it's
This
true.
is true.
It's true. They would go to the top of the highest place they could find
Yeah.
to light their bonfire to get closer to the deities and to the sun. Yep.
So check this out.
Yeah.
This is one of the candles we carry. I thought this is actually the perfect candle for this, because you also mentioned candle magic. It's perfect time to actually burn a candle. Check it out. It's got the orange gold top, green, and the red orange, or yellow gold, yellow gold, green, and the orange red on the bottom.
Yeah, that's
Perfect
a good
candle
one.
for this.
The colors.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, perfect candle for it to be able to, symbolize. And you could start it actually tonight and let it burn for 7 days.
I forgot to say, Roger, can you just briefly tell people why it is what it is like astrologically, not even astrology wise, but
So it is the point in time when your
astronomically.
days
What
and
is it?
nights are basically equal. So Thursday, the days will actually technically start getting shorter.
Until
Yes.
Yule, right?
Yep, till Yule, and then they'll start getting
And that
pretty
was
longer.
the tradition of Litha Roger, if you want to look at that. Or do you want to tell that? Do you know that tradition? It's like the warring between what the oak and the something else, and the Fae get involved in this, and it was warring. And Jen, do you know that tradition, that story? I like all the history, so.
It's the one where with the Oak King and the Holly
The
King,
Holly
and
King.
yeah, like, so now, now it's time for the Oak King to come out, and he's getting ready to come out, and he is dancing with the Fae, and they're doing all their things. And it's also too, actually, for me, I always look at like Persephone too, because you have time when she's back up, up this way and all of that. And so that's something I really look at.
Jen, was she in Denver before? When you said she came
She
back
might have
up?
been.
Okay.
She might have said, Hayes really likes Denver. Maybe that's what it is. I think he likes Denver. I'm pretty convinced. I'm convinced that's what's going on there. So
Anyway, I'm sorry to
so
interrupt you, but I had to say that.
no, but it could very well be,
Yeah.
So, and it's really just the in-between time between the harvests. And it's the time where, they that's why June is also really a popular month for weddings, because it's kind of that in-between time. So they just took advantage to kind of party and hang out. And we know that the Fae are super active at this time of year too. So it was, this is also a great time to honor them and ask them to join in your festivities and that sort of thing. Very respectfully, of course, because, the fairies and the gnomes, they can be a little temperamental sometimes. So I think, that's also, and that's a lot, too, why even wearing the crowns, the floral crowns and everything. I mean, you're celebrating, the bounty of the earth and stuff, but you're also celebrating and honoring the Fae.
That's great.
Which tomorrow is my parents' anniversary too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So, yeah, it is a popular time. And I'll just give that moment to shout out to Kate Carrasco. She's the head of, she runs the Grey Witches on Facebook group. It's has a pretty large following on there. And they had another little girl.
Yep.
And what made me think of it, Jen, is Roger and I performed their wedding ceremony, but they did a hand fasting. And thank God Roger did it. Because it was like, there was windy and there was a lake behind, and I just know if I tried to do that, those ribbons, because we did it and made it for him, Roger did it. We didn't do anything, Roger did it. I talked, and then Roger did all that, and I was like, those ribbons would have blown right on my hand into the lake, right?
Yep.
But anyway, they just had a birthday, but you did mess it up because you said their name, introducing Mr. and Mrs., and he screwed their name up. He said Costco or something. But anyway.
Our office manager and her husband, I married them here at the house. We had like a whole thing. And, you go up to do that and you're like, oh, this is, and then you get up there and you're like, whoa, like I'm marrying these people. I can't mess this up. And then, and then you mess it up somehow.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before. My son said, I'm not going to have you marry me, Mom, because your odds are really bad. So I've married enough people that, where they're keeping track of how many stay together and how many don't. And he's like, I'm not going with those odds. So, right?
It was 50-50. I think you're a little better now.
It was 50-50. Which is,
I
think I'm getting up to the norm.
Yeah,
like
you are.
what, 60-40.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is. Actually, Jay and R's wedding anniversary is Monday.
Aw, happy anniversary.
June.
Yeah.
There's that.
Y'all been together. You were like,
wedding.
I saw your picture. You were like a little baby girl. I mean, how old were you when you got married?
Yeah, 14 and 16. We've been together for like 30-something years.
You got married at 14 and 16?
No, that's when I met.
Oh my God, no. We didn't get married till I was like 20.
Okay. I was like,
we already had a 4-year-old at that point, so there was that part of it. So,
hey, there it is.
Whatever.
Well,
it's fine.
Okay, so let's get, I know I kind of threw that all off the rails. So let's talk about my fake wreath and your wreath that you have on. So you would gather flowers. The sunflower, of course, is a big symbol for this holiday and for this time of celebration. And this is a big fake wreath. So I've had it on, and I told y'all, they know me. If I say it before, it's going to come out during. But I tried to put it on, but it's not going to be working. So that's why the sunflowers are here. Anything having to do with the sun, and like Roger, you said, the colors
Yep.
are really known to be gold, orange,
Green.
yellow, green, red. Do you agree with that, Jen?
Yeah, any of the bright colors. And I think too, for people, even if you just wear them, just wear those colors. If you
I think
can't
so,
do
too.
anything, you're busy, just
Yes.
put that, wear red or yellow or gold or just something bright.
I got
Yeah.
a NASA shirt on just for you, an NASA shirt
Oh God. Okay.
with a sun on it, but it's got some neon blue and green, yellow. No,
Why do they have why isn't an astronaut on the sun?
NASA, because they are traveling to the sun now. Didn't you hear?
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
He's lying.
They're gonna go at night.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Jen, could you just be on the show like every time because these two they gang up on me. I'm
Yep.
I'm
Well, if
100%
they go
No,
at
see,
night,
I
they'll be
know
safe.
this because Jay does it. Jay does the same thing to me.
Yeah, I'm like,
Maybe we need a show with Jay on here too.
yeah.
We should. It would be
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, no, totally. You know what he did one time, which is totally off topic. I'll be quick. But he told me that our local civic center was falling down, that there was something structural. It was going to fall down. And I was working at the hospital at this point, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy, whatever. So I go to work and I'm telling them that the civic center is going to fall down. And it was a freaking lie. And I tell everybody about that. They hadn't heard about it, and he's dying. And he does this to me all the time, and I fall for it every time, and I don't understand why. I should know better by now.
I should. And then but the NASA thing, it's in Texas, it's in Houston. What? And,
Because Michelle doesn't realize it's called NASA. She thinks it's called NASA.
well, ancient aliens and NASA would take up when you used to have stuff on your TV, which I never,
Record-
I don't
you
even
know,
know how to
recorded
turn
it.
on my TV. Yeah. It would be what? I've said this before on here. I was like, what the heck? All this, every single thing is ancient aliens and this NASA. And he was like, that's been like 100 years ago. And, but yeah, that is what I said because it was like taking up the whole, I mean, where
NASA?
do I put, Love Island or whatever? I don't want Okay, so what else?
Well, we'll say, all right, one thing that you mentioned, and we were talking also, is like fertility is a big time too. It's a big time for
Yeah.
fertility.
Yeah. And
Because
harvest.
Michelle wanted to bring up the orgies, and at least
Well, yeah.
Jen
Yeah,
brings up the
a lot of
fact
babies.
about all the others. So
Well, and Jen used to be an OB-GYN nurse.
that's right.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
So
I've seen all that live and in action.
Yeah.
So I actually did grab some incense that are great for orgies and fertility.
Ooh,
Like that?
Here we go. Let's
Wait,
get this
you're gonna
party
love these.
started.
So we got cinnamon, obviously, right? Some cinnamon incense.
Yeah. Oh, cinnamon's always good.
Don Juan.
Ooh,
Don Juan, right?
here you go, Laura, man.
Cannot smell good.
Chocolate. Chocolate, that's
Oh.
always a good one.
It smells like
Smell
cinnamon,
chocolate
just so you
incense.
know.
Dragon's blood.
Always have to have that.
Dragon's blood. Erotica.
Let me smell that one.
Ooh.
And the Kama Sutra, just so you can get all those positions.
Yeah.
in play.
Yeah, well, of
Yeah, the
course.
scent just helps you loosen up so you can get into all those positions, and
That's
there you go. It's the solstice celebration of all time.
Bam.
There you go.
She told me to go grab some stuff for tonight. I'm like, okay.
I sent him a list, and let me
I
tell you,
did
that
not.
was not
I had
on
no idea where the hell that list is.
dang list. Okay,
I'm
there
like
was
looking.
a list.
There's not a list in there at all.
And he does, whatever he feels like, he just like weaves his magic. When I weave the magic, the demons come in, the entities come in. It's like, oh, the 10 candles and all that. So I can't
Yeah.
weave magic. But I do like the crystals that go with this one. So anything sun or those colors, so like sunstone,
Bam,
amber.
got it. Sunstone.
Sunstone's one of my favorites. Tiger's eye.
Tiger's eye.
Yeah,
it.
just anything like orange.
Oh, but look, I found one.
Citrine is a good
Citron's
one.
perfect.
Got this big citrine right here on the front, but
Yeah.
this one is fire quartz.
It's pretty.
So we
Yeah,
got
that is
fire
pretty.
quartz.
Ooh, I
We have a
like
whole
that.
bunch of these in points and free forms.
So everybody always talks about charging everything in the moon, during put your things out and charge them during the full moon, new moon. You hear everything moon. I've always said like where's the sun's day? Because I'm just much more of a sun, not necessarily representations of the sun being more like the masculine, the yin yang of the sun and the moon. But there's so many things on the moon, and I get why. But I'm like, yeah, I like this sun stuff. And this is bringing in Cancer season. I'm a Cancer.
Oh, Lord.
So
Here we go.
here we go. I mean, so you mentioned Persephone, but I was thinking, like Helios, we have Ra, we have a lot of the bracelets that have all the, that sun energy in them. And they're not that strong of like that pull of masculine feeling or anything. It's just, to me, they're kind of sacral chakra, solar plexus, and this day is connected with solar plexus, is the main day it's connected with. So to me, I like it because I like the moon stuff, okay, but I'm just kind of, it's really, about 3 years ago I started saying it, and then I was like, I guess I better be quiet because it's really cool to be a moon person, but I'm really a sun person. I'm like, okay, whatever, I like the sun. So, yeah.
It's so, you can absolutely put sun water out and use that in your workings. Like if you're trying to figure something out, just you need the light in a situation, like, or you want the light to shine on something that maybe you aren't seeing, using sun water is a great way to, incorporate that.
We're
Like,
going to
even
put a
if
shit
you
ton of that out then. Like if shine light on something we haven't seen.
I'm just going to go get some at the lake. The lake's all out in the water. We'll just scoop it up by the bucket.
Okay, so let me.
Wait. Wait. Because she actually, on her list of things that she sent me, has animals,
Matt.
right? You're going to love this one, Matt. Animals. What was that? What were the animals for this time?
Well, anything you might see. So fireflies, whatever, butterflies,
Snakes.
bees.
You were supposed to collect these
snakes.
and bring them in? Or
Well,
like-
they are symbols.
Well,
for
she
this
could
time.
have last night if she just reached down between her feet.
Snakes. That's another thing. You're supposed to be cool and like snakes, okay? I don't. I'm so sorry.
Especially when she's standing on the end of the dock, like it's just it's the finger out of the dock there where the boat is, right? So it's only like 2 feet wide, and she's standing fishing, and she glances down, and this
15-foot snake comes out.
snake's like coming right between her feet and out over the water.
No.
And I
And
thought,
it really
no.
was.
And it really was.
Well, about the
15
size of my
feet.
arm and about 4 feet long.
About 15 feet.
Oh my God.
About 15 feet.
I'll give you 4.5 is the longest I'll give you on that one.
That snake was a sneaky little, you know what? Because Roger, and then today I'm looking and I'm like, go figure. Connected with the summer solstice is the snake. And what did we see just last night? The snake. I had mentioned I had not seen a snake. I manifested that dang snake.
I
I'm
told
like,
you to stop bringing that stuff up.
We haven't seen any alligator gars this year. Then we go out there to fish, and then Roger's like, you might kind of want to watch it, and then all of a sudden like dun 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 dun, the snake comes out, and I'm like, holy! I have my pink rod and reel,
And she's running too.
and I was like trying to get.
I'm trying to watch Dave and them and hear it. Rah!
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had on the TV out there, we had on Paranormal 60, Dave Schrader were watching it. I'm trying to catch a fish. And then he tells me, because we have this green light, Jen, we have this that
In the water,
attracts
you know.
the water, which it attracts the fish.
Yeah, I think I've seen a picture of it actually
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, it looks like, nuclear destruction or something because it's green water. Well, I didn't know it attracted the snakes.
Well, it's the little fish. He's just eating like everybody else.
I don't care.
Because I saw him chasing them.
I don't care if he eats. And I don't care if I am like the non-cool person who doesn't like snakes. Man, that thing was so sneaky. And he's coming, Matt. He's coming under that thing. All of a sudden,
Raising his head
comes
up out of the
water. I'm like, oh, hell no. And I am surprised that rod and reel didn't go into the water.
Oh, so he was in the water. I thought you were saying he was on the.
No, he was in the water.
He was under
Now,
the deck.
let's keep in mind a few months back when Michelle's, that alligator girl, I was just going to jump in the water and grab it.
The alligator gar's nothing compared to that
I'm telling you
snake.
now, the alligator gar would hurt you way worse than that snake would.
Don't care. Don't care.
And what is this alligator thing? What is this?
All right,
I
it's a
don't know
big fish.
about
They're
alligators.
about those that we have are about 3 to 4 feet.
Uh-huh.
Now they'll get to 8 feet, but it has a mouth and teeth just like an alligator.
They look prehistoric.
They are very prehistoric. Yes,
They are, Jen. They are.
and she's just going to jump in on
freaky,
top
and they're like
of it.
kind of on the side. Their teeth.
You can
are
see
kinda
their
on the
teeth from the
side.
top of the water when they're swimming around feeding.
Oh,
You can see the
no,
teeth
no.
just like alligator.
Google it later because
I'm gonna Google it. And
You
then
got to
have
Google it,
nightmares.
and
then
none
I'm
of that.
texting both of you about
Google,
it.
when you do Google it, look it up in Trinity River, Trinity River runs through Dallas.
Okay.
Okay, it's the ones they show you where they're bringing them in. They're like 8 feet long.
Yeah,
and
they're
that's where you
enormous.
find
Oh
all the
my
dead
God.
bodies, and the alligator guards probably
eat 'em.
ate them. Well, I guess they wouldn't
just
find
chomp
the dead
and chomp 'em.
bodies if they
That sounds
ate
They
them.
fun.
find
That
like
sounds like a good
fingers
time.
and toes. That's all that's left.
I will take an
And I
alligator.
thought us having a rattlesnake mountain was a bad thing, and now there's these alligator fish. Like
So here's the thing. For my whole life, because I skied, like water skied, and supposed to snow ski and everything else, but I always got sick from altitude sickness,
I don't like-
because it's in Colorado where we go. And so I literally would ski like every day of summer, water ski. We'd even barefoot ski. I mean, we skied. And nobody ever, there were snakes out there. Okay, and you're always told, don't get in a water moccasin nest. They're under there. If you hit a water moccasin nest, you're gonna, they'll pull you under or whatever. And I thought that's not true.
That's not true.
You would see snakes floating on top of the water at that lake.
That was
but I'll tell you
rattlesnakes.
what, and getting outside is a good thing for summer solstice. So we are not off the topic. And it's snakes, but I will tell you, I am not. Oh my God, at this place. Now I lost my train of thought. Those things are, I know. I was told, he told me that. So the way Matt and Roger are, they'll tell me something and then I don't know if they're telling me the truth. So for my whole
I don't
life,
know why I'm getting lumped in with this.
well, because you follow along with him. And so for my whole life, I've not believed that there were alligator gars. I was out there skiing in that nasty Louisville Lake where our boat is, and I thought, or doing tubing or whatever, or just jumping in the water, and there's snakes somewhere. Then when I saw that alligator gar, I was like, what is that? And he goes, it's an alligator gar. And I thought, I'm not kidding, y'all. I thought I had been being lied to my whole life. I thought they were fake.
They make TV shows just about them.
I don't know how to turn on the TV.
Well, that's true.
So, all right.
See, I didn't know about them either. So now I learned something today.
Yes. Well, and you don't want to
I
grab
bet.
it.
Well,
with
when
your
you and
hand.
Jay come down, that's what we'll be doing. We'll go down and we'll actually fish for the alligator gar.
We have
Yeah,
never
well,
caught
it's
a gar.
happening.
You know-
Happening now. Rattlesnakes, and we actually have a mountain that's full of rattlesnakes. They call it Rattlesnake Mountain, and you'll see them in the water.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But I mean, we have like pike and stuff like that. I mean, they have teeth, but
Yeah.
they're not like trying to eat you or anything. So, yeah.
But anybody who thinks that you're being, like people are kidding about the alligator gar, no, they're real. And I think there's some alligators in that Louisville Lake too.
Oh, there probably
There
are.
is. I know there is.
certainly are.
They're just on the north side where we don't go.
I will not be back in that water. And that big old giant yoga mat
And
that
we
I
find
have
that
to
is
get on,
to
I
be a
can't get
lie.
on that thing anymore. Okay, so back to our thing. Another thing you can do is you can do an altar and put a lot of these things we're talking about on the altar. One thing you could put is the Sun tarot card. You can also charge your tarot cards outside. One lady had an opinion, and I can't remember her name, so I'm sorry. But we can see what you think about it, Jen. She only charges her Sun card, and in the Sun, she believes the tarot have dark, not dark, but just like mysteries, the mysteries of the tarot. So all her other cards, she only charges in the moon light. So I think that's just a personal discretion, but I thought that was kind of interesting.
Why couldn't
Yeah,
you
that is.
charge-
I've actually never heard that before. I think that is very interesting. And, maybe that person too connects more to the sun like you do. So maybe that's just something that they feel that, resonates, and hey, whatever works for you, I guess that's totally fine. But some people do like to, some people do have decks that they charge just in the sun, and then ones they charge just with the moon.
That makes sense.
I've heard people, people you have a lot of client decks that they just have a certain deck they use for clients. I have known them to just charge them in the sun and that's it, because they want them to bring uplifting messages and that sort of thing. So, again, I think there's no wrong way.
Yeah.
And I think that if you never tried it, why not try it and see if it works for you? And if it doesn't, then fine. But at least you tried it. I'm all about trying stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I do think it's interesting, and I'm almost kind of curious to put a sun card out tomorrow and see if I notice a difference. Just to try it out, because I don't normally do that.
I think there's several you could, because obviously you have the sun card, right? It has the sun on it. But look,
Yep.
there's others that have the sun card on it, like the full,
Jen,
the
do you have
lovers,
your sun card?
the
I
full,
do
and
have
the
my sun
lovers.
card.
See,
But I have the light, and this is so like.
yeah,
That's her new card,
Yep.
so let's see it. So tell us
Okay.
about your deck really quickly.
There we go.
Yeah.
You can kind of
Yep.
see.
can kinda see
because it's like my mock deck, right? And so I just like made a mock deck on Make Playing Cards like myself. And this is why we let the professionals do it and not Jen, because the gilding was supposed to be on the back of the card, and my idea of the back and their idea of the back was different. So then the gilding went on the front by accident, but it's my card anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, so
I
that's why
like the
it's-
back of that though, or the front, or whatever. That's
Yep,
pretty.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So mine in here, it's hard to see, but the sun on my card is actually Apollo.
Mm,
Oh,
So-
okay.
that's cool.
He,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
he
cool.
represents the sun in this card. So, but yeah, I do think, I guess if you really are ambitious and you want to like go through your deck, that could be a good summer solstice activity.
Yep.
Like to find the cards that represent the sun or light to you, and maybe throw them on your altar for the day or so, and then throw it in the mix and see how it works for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I don't know if people, those of you who've watched a long time, and we've done it 2 different times, right? That you put a Yule
Yep.
log together.
At Yule,
On the
we
show?
made about a week or we did one for the show, and then I've done a class also a couple of classes on making a Yule log, and it's actually is a perfect time for 2 things. In the bonfire, you can actually burn a section of your Yule log that's left over, but you can also, this is a great time to start collecting for making your Yule log during Yule.
Because after tomorrow, the days will start getting shorter and shorter and shorter until Yule. So yeah, some people will take that Yule log and they burn it at their bonfire or at whatever fire they have that represents the light and the, like Jim was talking about, the positivity of, and the bonfires represented other things too. It ward off evil spirits and things like that. There's a lot of tradition to the bonfires. But I thought that was really interesting about putting the Yule log in it on the summer solstice. I never would have thought of that, to transition to now we're going to, the half of the year where we're transitioning.
And the Egyptians, this was their new year for them. So, you can even look at it if you want kind of that way too. Like, you are going into a new season. So even looking at it like maybe like a new year. So what is it that you want to bring in for the next couple months until the next solstice, and setting some intentions? And, I'm all about, writing your intentions on bay leaves and throwing them in the bonfire. And, and then that's always something that's fun to do too.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's easy,
Yeah, one of the things I was just going to tell people, it's not going to happen in a short time, but if you do put any crystals out, check, just Google it. Do they fade in the sunlight? Typically, people aren't going to leave them out there long enough, like amethyst. But other people don't usually tell you this, but rose quartz actually can fade. So, do want to, I meant to say that earlier, just be a little bit careful about that. Roger, do you want to do a giveaway really quickly?
I was.
Okay.
So we are watching, hang on a minute, let me get back over here to it. We are watching on the YouTube channel for the giveaway, so you have to get the correct answer. And our giveaway, these love pack of incense here that I have here, that's what we will be giving to you. Okay, if you're local, you're picking it up. If you're not, we'll ship it to you. So, our question of the evening is, why did Michelle get stopped at TSA?
Oh my gosh. I've been nervous this whole time because I don't know what that letter says. What if I'm like have to go to court?
You don't have to go to court.
Oh.
Leslie said you probably won't be able to get TSA right. Or
Then you have to go back to Denver.
yeah,
That's worse than court.
Leslie got it. Switch button. Leslie, you have to come pick it up.
Leslie,
That's funny.
congratulations. You've got
Got
all
fast
kinds
on
of
it.
Don Juan. Almost everything in there smells like
Yep.
smells like cinnamon.
There is cinnamon in here. You got
Yeah.
erotica. You got chocolate. You got your dragon's blood. You got your cinnamon. Your Don Juan and the Kama Sutra.
Okay.
I want to light them all at the same time. Just
Yeah.
line them up and light them all up
Throw them all in.
around the bonfire.
There you go.
Everybody will be naked in no
Yep.
time.
In
Exactly.
no time. In
Next
no
thing you know,
time.
everybody's dancing naked around the fire.
That's
There
and,
you go.
And then we have Saint John the Baptist like
Yep.
going. No. Okay.
He's standing there in the corner, and everybody's just throwing their clothes at him
Yep.
at this point.
So, do you want to go over the items of the week too now?
Sure.
Because of
Let's
the
hit
time.
that real quick.
All right.
And I will well, because Matt, you got that graphic for it. I will say tomorrow though, at all locations, I meant to post this earlier, didn't, but we will have a Solstice sale, and it will be live online too. I will create a graphic. I think the graphic's already there. I just got to create the discount code. So everything in the store and online will be 10% off with the discount code.
Say solstice sale
Solstice
5
sale.
times fast.
Solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale.
That's pretty good. Can you do
That
it?
is pretty good.
Can you do it, Matt?
I'm not even going to attempt. I know
Solstice
I'll
sale, solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale. Jen, that was pretty good
Solstice
actually.
sale,
From
solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale, solstice sale. Is that 3 or was that 5?
So yeah, good job. Soultopia solstice sale. Say now I messed it up.
Yeah, you
Solstice
can't do it.
sale.
So-
Dadgummit.
That'll throw you off,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Yep, 10% off everything. And for the people who are watching, we're going to have a customer appreciation day Saturday.
Just for them.
They just, if they're watching, they'll know before everybody else.
Oh,
So we'll have quite a few little things and gifts and things like that to go around.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about products of the week. What you got over there?
I'm here. You can hold it up. Well, this one is popular this time of the year.
Yep.
The citronella.
Boom.
Everybody asks for it this time of the year. I have a question for Jen on this one. So, Jen, besides the whole warding off mosquitoes, which is why people want it a lot of times, what magically will they use this for? Citronella. Do you use it?
Again, I do a lot of candle stuff, so it's that's usually what it's getting involved in. But I like to use it actually really to just clear blocks and doubt. And I always like to explain it like if the doubts were little bugs and you're trying to repel them.
That's good.
So it's kind of like that, and I do like that. And I think too, it's all just like it fills up like that solar plexus. Like and I always say, when I'm putting this on a candle, I'm filling that up for you, and I'm really making it so that you can kind of project out that confidence that you need. So I will use it for that as well.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Because I didn't know really. I have never lit up or what do you use it for?
Same.
Same.
Well, I keep it for the mosquitoes and stuff, bugs too.
Yeah.
I actually take it down to the lake and we have it down there. I've got a little, actually not an instant burner because trying to be a little safer for the, down at the boat and everything's wood or gas. So I have like a little planter pot with sand in it that you can stand the stick straight up. But I'll do this rosemary and lemongrass.
Do those attract snakes?
No, it actually keeps snakes away.
Probably
You
not.
just have to-
and it's funny because I do that in oils. I use oils,
Yeah.
and I'll make a spray
Yeah.
with those.
That's good.
Mhm.
Another, and our items of the week don't really go with our topic tonight, but they could in any way we wanted to. One of my favorite crystals is Amazonite, and so that's a Roger can tell you about this, what the items of the week
So
are.
the Amazonite, same as the citronella, or the incense, this Satya citronella incense, buy one, get one free. The Amazonite is buy one, get one free.
So I'll tell my personal story about Amazonite. When I was going through my divorce,
Amazonite.
Roger wrapped me, and it was pretty much kind of a green apple. There's also, well, I won't go into that, but wrapped me, and he wrapped it and made it look like a crown at top, like, a crown. And it really helped me with courage, strength to feel, the strong powers of the Amazonite. It's good for writers. It's good for people who, primarily for writers, but it's also any kind of performer or anything in the arts. A lot of people don't know about that. Amazonite's always been one, like when I barely knew anything about crystals, we would talk about Amazonite. And do you remember? And that Amazonite took on so much of my, well, I had a lot of anger. So I think, but it turned. It literally did turn colors. And crystals will do that. And people will think like, oh no, now it's bad energy. No, it's actually just working to help you.
Yeah.
And I remember I had that forever. And I don't know what happened to it.
I
I'm going to tell you the truth. Somebody liked it so much. I think I gave it to them because they were going through something hard, a hard time, and that is what happened. And they're like, oh, now will they take, people always ask, will they take on all your stuff? No. I mean, you can just hold it in your hand and intention, or set it out in the sun or the moon, or clear it any way you want to. Put it on selenite, all the different ways you clear things, but Amazonite's one of my favorites. So that's one of the items of the week. And then Archangel Metatron. And this Metatron, the angels were one of our first, what do we call them? Like, I don't know,
First
series of bracelets were the angels. And everyone back at that time was super, at least in the Dallas area, they were super into Metatron because of Metatron's cube. And they thought Metatron was all about sacred geometry because the cube is about sacred geometry, and it'll clear your chakras and things like that. But Metatron actually is very associated with children who learn in a different way. So I have major ADHD. As a child, Metatron would have helped me with that. So this bracelet, and he is one of the angels that actually walked as man, prophet of Enoch, and it helps with childhood issues, including learning differences. It helps indigos. I don't really use that term anymore, the indigos, but it was back when we wrote, that tells you how long ago this was. And it holds the key to the universe, or he holds the key to the universe. Mystic quartz, hematites on all of our angel bracelets, and there's ruby zoisite. You want to hold that up? And Metatron has gone through many, many makeovers.
Quite a few.
People come in who bought the very first one, and I'm like, that is some vintage Soultopia bracelet, right? So those are items of the week.
Yep. And
Yeah.
the bracelets are 20% discount?
Are you
On
saying
that
like you're asking me?
Yeah, because I don't remember.
But I think it is. I think on that one it's a 20% discount on the Metatron bracelet.
Okay, so
Gonna
Jen,
get that one this week.
what we're gonna in a second. I hope you'll read with us, like the 1, 2, 3, and Matt. If you're gonna do 4, if you want to, it's up to you. But tell us, because I believe you to be one of the people I know who most. I'm serious about this. A couple things about you. I always say it. You're so generous in sharing everyone else's work. I noticed you, Matt Orwin, who you're friends with. So some of the people who do that. I've always noticed about that about you. Before I knew you, I noticed that, and I've told you that every time you're on or we talk. You're so generous to share about everyone else, but you are doing a lot of things right now, and so congratulations to you, because I think that karma's come back around for you. But tell us, and the other thing about you is that I believe you truly don't just talk about these things, you actually put them in practice in your life. How are you going to celebrate this? I know that you have a lot of stuff going on, but what are the few things you know that you'll do for the summer solstice?
Well, I definitely think I'm going to, I'll probably do a candle spell, of course.
Yeah.
I will go outside. Hopefully tomorrow night we'll have a fire, set some intentions, and, this year, because we have a lot going on this week with my son graduating and stuff. So there's a lot of prep going on. So it's really just trying to do a little bit. I'm going to try, I'm going to probably wear one of my yellow bracelets or whatever. I was going to say yellow or light colored clothes, but I don't really have a lot. Like this this sun's on it. So this is close,
Yeah.
I think too, I will pull some cards about what I need to focus on in the next couple months. Maybe see how that looks. And, I might throw a sun card out and let it, hang out in the sun and see what happens after that.
Yeah.
What else will I do? I usually too will write or talk to my kids and just write, and see where they're at and what, kind of ask them for something that they want to happen. And I'll kind of include that in my, like when I do like the bay leaves or however I decide to do it and kind of include them in it as well. So that's probably what I'll do. Like I said, it's not really super high key. And I'm going to make some sun tea as well. That's something I always do. Yeah, I always like to make sun tea. And it's like the magical sun tea, So I will do that. And then as I drink that throughout, every day, because it's only going to be like a little thing too, I'll just be sure to like think of what my intentions are and what I can do. And if there's something that the light needs to shine on for me to see, whether it's something personal or if there's somebody, that I need to pay attention to, good or bad, it's just like shine the light on the stuff I need to see so I know what I'm dealing with kind of thing.
I love it that you said that because and added good or bad, shine the light on the people or the situations that are really spotlight that. Just point it out to me that, to people that are really important in our lives or situations and things maybe that aren't serving us anymore. That's really, thank you for pointing that out. And I also I think it's interesting because what I said, because she does practice this her craft every day. It's not like you just choose certain ritual times of the year. I know that because I watch what you post and I know you do it. And so I have a question. What do you do for the magical sun tea? Can you tell? Is there anything special?
You mean
that
it's not
can
Lipton
tell?
sun tea?
Huh?
Not Lipton sun tea?
Well,
Oh my gosh.
I just know.
Well,
Usually
I use a green tea. I will use a green tea usually. I will put some mint in it. And I will usually put some rosemary. I do grow a lot of my own stuff, so I do have that on hand. I will do that, and then I'll just put in some lemons, of course, because you have to have that. But I do the lemons too that represent the sun, and just kind of like refreshing my perspective, and that's like for me, that's kind of what it's all about because we went through winter and we, the deep dark and we're hanging out in there and reflecting. And now I just feel like this time, the summer solstice is about a refresh. So that's really what I focus that tea on. And then, I will usually put some rose petals in there. And if you use rose petals in anything, make sure they are organic and not just from the store because those have pesticides on them.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to make sure they're organic. And then I'll throw those in there just for love, to have some more loving energy. And that's usually it. And I'm just one of those. And it's funny because I did my Llewellyn talk today and I was saying something about being a sloppy witch, and they all want me to make t-shirts that say sloppy witch because I'm one of those, like, and even when I'm doing my candle stuff, like I have stuff like it's everywhere because I like get my hands in it and I'm just like, I don't, I'm like, it's all over. I have oil and herbs everywhere.
That's Roger.
And, I've ruined so many keyboards because the herbs, like, if I'm doing live and then the herbs get in the keyboard and then they're just ruined. So it's really like what I'm feeling too, and what, how I'm feeling, what I feel like that's important. And then I'll add, what's in that, and if anybody is going to do something like that too, make sure you do research and make sure that you just don't throw stuff in there, just willy nilly. And because it sounds good, do your research because there are herbs that thin your blood, that affect your heart rate and all of that. So I think that's really important to when you're doing any of this stuff is to make sure you do research,
Definitely. Thanks for saying that too.
So I have an idea though. I have an idea. You need to bring Jay to bring Jay into more of it. I know he's already into some,
He's
right?
into
You're
it.
gonna love-
He's into it.
He's going to
there.
love this one though. He's going to love this. You need to get Jay a flamethrower for the bonfire. My cousin has one, and my cousin's husband technically has one, but she loves to go and get it, and she lights the fire. They do these big bonfires out at their place and at the lake, and so she gets the flamethrower to light the bonfires with. You need to order Jay one. I'd have one too if we didn't live in the freaking city.
Yeah, he can't wait for me to die so he can do a flamethrower throw on me out at sea. He's gonna push me out on a boat and then aim that flamethrower at me.
Viking funeral, Viking
Yeah,
wedding.
There you go.
Which one is
I'm
it?
all about that. Yes.
Yeah,
do
he's
that
got his
for-
flamethrower ready. He's just
Do you need me to
counting
send
down
you the
days.
link for it?
It's yes, I want
I'll send you
that.
the link for you.
All right, let's do
Yeah,
some
no,
readings.
definitely.
Let's read for, and we can even do it for the message for tomorrow for the summer solstice. That could be our reading. You want to frame that? You want to frame that question? What people are, and I'm going to let them explain. Choosing 1, 2, 3. Matt, are you going to read?
I'll just do 3.
Pardon me?
3.
Just 3? Okay, so 3 people. What is this going to represent, Jen? Card we pull.
What we do, whichever one you choose is where you need to refresh in your life and focus on and maybe bring in a new perspective.
There you go.
Perfect. All right. So you want to do 1, Roger?
I guess so.
Don't be so excited.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So number ones. I hope you got your number ones. All of you, please. I got the Justice card. Thought it was going to be the Sun card, didn't you?
That means you need to open your letter from the federal government.
Yeah,
that
Michelle.
You get.
TSA letter. I don't know. I just saw Denver Airport. I don't know where it came from. So Justice card. It's actually, I think what it is actually because if you think about tomorrow, it's actually a balance of light and dark. It's actually a good thing for you and a good time to reflect back on things within your life to make sure things are in balance. Everything, that's you have on this side, you have on this side, it's weighing out, and keep that balance within life for yourself and keep moving forward each day.
Perfect. All right, Jen,
Yes.
are you up for 2?
Sure.
All right.
A little shuffle. All right. So I got the Knight of Swords. Look at that guy.
Yep.
So I feel like it's definitely if you choose to, it's time for you to cut through the BS. It's time for you to start taking action, start speaking up for yourself, and not just let all if somebody's making comments or they're trying to direct you in a way that doesn't feel right. It's time for you to speak up and take that action. And like he's doing, he's got that sword ready to go and just cut through the BS.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going.
I like it. I always choose 2, and I will take that. That has been going on. If Mary Gates
Yes.
is watching, she's like, what has happened to you, Michelle? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm finally, over halfway dead. And, I finally am speaking up. And she's like, yeah, way too much. All right. So number 2's,
Scary.
that message is correct. And by the way, that's from your deck, Jen, right?
Yes, that's from my deck.
Okay,
Yes, Stardust
so-
Runner Tarot. And it's still up for pre-order. So if you go on my Kickstarter page, you can still pre-order it for a couple more weeks.
Okay, so in a second, circle back and ask her where to all the information. So I got for the number 3's. I'm reading from the Zerner Farber Tarot deck. Good friends of ours and good friends of Jen's.
Yes.
And Matt, I'm sure too. The Chariot. You want to hold that up? I got the Chariot card. So the Chariot means so many different things to me, but what I get for those of you who chose number 3 is this is the time it's telling you to focus on to keep things balanced, to drive things forward. This one is pushing forward. I mean, this is a small card. I like that these are smaller, these little cards. But this one isn't just sitting there holding the reins, steady. This one is on the move. It's almost like hurry up. So it is time to take action. So it sort of ties in with you, Jen. It's time to, but you're taking very deliberate action. You're not just going, okay, I'm going to spontaneously and just impulsively do something. It's a determined, focused action, and that's what I'm getting for the threes. It's time to go for it and just move forward and lean into what you know to be right. And as long as you're leaning into that, as opposed to all the distractions and all the things people are telling you to do, like you were talking about, Jen, it'll be a good thing for the threes. Yeah, so pay attention. Maybe do what Jen said and set your, find out with the sun and what you put out in the sun, your card, maybe add the Chariot for the number threes to put a spotlight on, is there anything I need to know that I'm not supposed to lean into, or what should I lean into?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. And Jen, how do people get a hold of you, and what is it that you want? I'm sure they people would love to know where your some of your different things you do. Where can they find all of that?
So really, if you just look up Stardust Wanderer Tarot or Google Jen Sankey, it'll direct you to all the things.
All the things, all the places. Yeah.
That's really the easiest thing to do is just Google me.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, my deck I left it the Kickstarter price for a couple more weeks before it goes out to print, and just in case there's been a couple last minute people grabbing it. So because once it is all said and done and it gets to the Etsy store or whatever I decide to do, the price will go up a little bit. So it's definitely a good idea to grab that now. And if you go to my Instagram, all the links are in there, my link tree with everything you can think of. So that would probably be the best place to go.
Perfect. And like I said, congratulations to you. You are on fire. That's one of the symbols for the summer solstice, but you are doing great. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you, because it's good to see somebody who really supports other people and does so much for other people to really that coming back to them. So I'm really happy for you. And so it's not that you weren't before, but it's just all of a sudden your name's everywhere. You're doing all kinds of things. So and
the place.
And you're doing it, you know what? And it's for you now, and I think that's really cool.
Yep.
So I mean, it's for others, but you know what I mean. It's you're not.
I do.
Yeah, I really really like that about you. And there's a lot of people. No, there's not a lot. There are certain people in the community that we run in, and the tarot community and different communities, that it's very apparent if you follow them. So follow Jen, and you'll see how much she shares about other people and promotes other people. So. Also, she will be at Newt's, and do you want to talk about that and close out the show, Roger?
Sure. So our next big event, big event, it will be Newt's Northwest Tarot Symposium in Portland, Oregon. And we did change hotels this year, so it is at the DoubleTree in Portland. If you do go to the website, it's Northwest. It's actually nwtarotsymposium.com, nwtarotsymposium.com. Go to the website, check it out. You can get your tickets there. You can book your hotel there. We will be putting all the people who are speaking. If you're on Facebook and go to the group, you will see little graphic cards of the people who have already been approved and who have accepted and will be there speaking.
And Instagram,
and
too.
Instagram's
follow us
on
there.
And I'm sure we shared it on the Soultopia page. And I think, Jen, did you get your graphics? I don't remember, but we
her
sent it out.
graphics have been posted.
Yes, I
she's
did. Mine was in the last batch. Yeah.
So she got hers and posted them out. And so you'll even see a lot of the people who are speaking posted on their personal page too.
Yeah.
But make sure you get your tickets though, because they've actually this week, because people have been seeing who's speaking. And so we've got a big uptick in ticket sales on that this week. So, you don't want to be like sitting back and August rolls around and you're like, oh man, I wanted a ticket and they're already sold out.
Yeah,
so
these will sell out.
And if you are listening and you're like, I want to go, but I just can't pay for it all at once. Hey, no big deal. We can break it up into payments for you. I've got a couple of people that we've done that for. including that for Reader Studio. A lot of people have done that for Reader Studio where they're breaking it up into payments instead of just paying for it all at once.
Okay.
And Reader Studio is thereaderstudio.com, readerstudio.com. And it'll get you there and to the ticket. The website's not up yet because we just haven't had time to get a website going, but we will get that up as soon as possible. But it does take you to the ticket sites, and the information's on the ticket site.
Perfect. Yes.
And tomorrow, because it is summer solstice, all Soultopia locations, including online, be watching for the email going across in the morning. It'll actually give you the discount codes to be able to come in the store or online and shop and save 10% on everything.
Good.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for popping on such short notice. I really appreciate it. You were a trooper to do that.
My friend.
And I know about graduation week, so I know how busy you are, and I know that you've been so busy, so I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate it. But we really wanted your expertise, like I said, from somebody who actually does practice these things and takes these the solstices and the Sabbath seriously and practice things every day as opposed to just talking about them or writing about them. So thank you so much for joining us. So other than that, anything else, Roger?
Nope, that's it.
All
Y'all have
right.
a great rest of the week, and be safe out there, and see you guys next week. Thanks.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to SoulWhat, a Soultopia production. If you're intrigued, searching, or looking to schedule a reading of your very own, visit us in sunny Dallas, Texas, or visit us online at facebook.com/Soultopia Holistic Boutique. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting platform to be the first to hear new episodes every Tuesday at 7:30 Central.